Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast, episode 7, season 2. We're back after a week off. Basically, 2 out of 3 of us got COVID. It's the 2 that live together. But we're all back today. So Shelby's back here, alive.
I don't know if I necessarily fit the definition of alive, but I am here.
And the COVID man himself, who didn't get COVID this time, Vince.
Mate, I've had it already thrice. Might as well give it to me again. We're the only man in history to have it 4 times.
Well, they say now you have to expect to get it 3 times a year.
What I didn't realize is we're up to getting your 4th booster shot.
Shit, yeah, we need to get our 3rd. We're behind. Considering we got our 1st and 2nd one so early.
Yeah, but we also got COVID, and then it's like, oh, we got COVID, so fuck, we can't, wait and get the next one. And then literally I was like starting to talk to people, like, oh shit, I should get a 3rd one. Got COVID again.
Yeah.
The thing that pisses me off the most, though, and Shelby got it first, and I'm like, well, that's it, I'm doomed, because there's no fucking way that we're going to isolate. And as much as we, people say, oh yeah, you can isolate. We live in a shoebox, and when Shelby's a zombie, she's not going to go around fucking disinfecting herself after.
We share a toilet, we share a kitchen.
Everything. So anyway, but the thing is, Shelby only leaves the apartment for 40 minutes in a month, gets COVID.
Don't fucking roast me like this. Okay, so it was in that weekend we went out.
We went across the road, had McDonald's, and got a cat toy.
So it definitely picked it up that first day. For those who are listening, my immune system is made out of damp tissue paper. It doesn't really work very well. So even if Ilati and I came into contact with the same contact point that was infected with COVID when we're out, he, maybe his body could fight it off initially because
no. I thought about this,
but me, it was enough to get me sick and then eventually get you sick by brewing more COVID.
No, I thought about this. You went to the bathroom. I didn't follow you there.
I scrubbed my hands.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's a filthy place.
It's true. I did go to the bathroom.
COVID bathroom confirmed. There you have it.
How dare you go to the bathroom?
I needed to bath.
The thing is, though, right? Shelby comes out of the apartment for 40 minutes in a month, right? I go out of the apartment like 40 minutes a day just because I'm just sick of being in the apartment. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Fine. I never got it. I'm a filthy human, and Shelby's like cautious and shit, and then gets it.
Like I said, my immune system it's nothing.
And then
It's still different, bro.
Yeah. And I remember she's like, oh, I've got a bit of a sore throat. I'm like, okay, get a rat test. And then it was like the next day, it was like 0 to 100. It was like,
yeah. So how it happened was it was like the Sunday night or Monday night or so. No, it was Monday night because it was a long weekend. I was fine all day until like 10 o'clock, and I felt like a tickle in my throat, just a tickle. The next day, I took that first rapid test. It was negative. Finished work early because I started to feel crap. Then the next day, took another rapid test, and I have never seen a rapid test suck up all the dye into that positive line.
80% speed run straight to the fucking positive test. And at that point, I've gone, all right, I've got about 3 days until death. So that was what, Wednesday that you had the positive?
Yeah, I think at the very least when we stagger us getting sick and we quarantine a little bit from each other, it at least gives us a few days before you get sick so that the house
I was
ruined.
Basically fine. Then Friday I felt it coming on, like I got that tickle. And then by like 2 a.m. I felt like I had been run over and I was dead. And the worst thing I found with the COVID, and it was the same time last time we had COVID around Christmas. My sleeping just goes to fucking shit. I went to waking up at 5 p.m. and then being awake until 7 a.m. I was basically a vampire, but I was also too sick to be productive. So I watched a lot of anime. I watched so much anime.
What'd you watch?
Oh man, so many fucking things. I also watched about 50 episodes of Malcom in the Middle.
Why'd you watch that?
Because I was thinking about it. The other day. I love the scene when the dad comes into the kid's room and he's like, $5 for someone to take the fall for something. And I'm like, and then the kid's like, $10 and I'll do it. And then he's like, I love you, son. Gives him $10 and takes him out. He's like, I got him. It's something the dad fucked up. And I thought, oh man, I haven't watched that show in ages. It's on Disney Plus. And I'm like, all right.
I definitely witnessed you binge watching a lot of shows. Like it just seemed like you were going through it so fast.
I also watched I watched. Yeah, well, I did. I watched. When I say I watched like 50 episodes of Malcolm in a row, I did. Like the TV was on for 3 days straight, and I was just mindlessly staring at it, hoping for the best. But I even went back and watched some Dragon Ball Z. That was fucking. It's on Crunchyroll now. I switched to Crunchyroll because Funimation's getting brought out by Crunchyroll, and it's all becoming one thing. The app and the website for Crunchyroll, so much better. Like, I don't know why people were complaining. People were like, "Oh my god, I hate the UI." Nah, it's fucking great. Not only that, Crunchyroll doesn't ask if you're still watching. You can watch it for days. It just keeps going.
What do you mean? Do stuff ask if you're still watching?
Like Netflix, man.
Netflix, it goes,
I don't have Netflix.
Oh, okay. So basically Netflix, once you watch like a couple episodes and you haven't like wiggled your mouse or anything for a while or done anything to the app, it goes, "Are you still watching?" and pauses the show.
That is so annoying.
Very annoying.
Not only that, I was watching the Snyder Cut on fucking Binge, and because that movie's so long, it asked me halfway through the movie if I'm still watching.
What the fuck? That's so
YouTube also does it now, which is really irritating because I cancelled my Spotify membership for a while. So I was just using YouTube Music to listen to music. Sorry, YouTube, not YouTube Music, but whatever. I was using YouTube to listen to music. And it would play like, an album's worth and it would be going through like a whole playlist. And then it goes, "Are you still watching?" And my music just stops. Like
Yeah, it's stupid. And but yeah, so with Crunchyroll, like I literally put on, if people don't know, it's like fucking I think 300 and something episodes of Dragon Ball Z. I like put on from episode 100, and then by the time I sort of had a snooze and woke up and watched some more and had a snooze, woke up, next thing you know, I was at episode 230 something. I'm like, this is fucking sweet. I don't have to touch or move or nothing. This is how everything should be. But yeah, it's it was interesting. But yeah, in terms of like shows that I watched basically anything that I recognized like stuff from. So like if I go, "Oh, I recognize that character," so maybe if people posting memes about it, it's got to be a half decent show. I watched Komi Can't Communicate, which is on a Netflix one. It's an anime, which is basically about this girl who's like, everyone's like, she's super popular because she's super attractive. But the whole thing is that she's also got mega social anxiety and cannot actually talk or communicate to anyone. So everyone just assumes that she's popular, but really she's got no friends because she can't talk to people because she's fucking shitting herself all the time, which I found very relatable. So that was very good. Quite a heartwarming sort of show. I also watched The Rising of a Shield Hero, which is basically like guy gets trapped in an MMO, but he can't use anything but a shield, which was like, I've seen it a bit and I'm like, oh, it sort of seems like a lot of other things. The cool thing I found with that, which I didn't expect, was one of the party members, if you like, is a giant friendly chicken who likes to beat the fuck out of people. And I didn't realize that I needed a chicken that beats people up in my life until I watched that show.
That's hectic.
Yeah, it was good. I watched what's it called? It's Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever it is. The one that just had a movie came out. Which is basically like if you've seen Demon Slayer, which fuck it, everyone's seen Demon Slayer at this point because it's such a huge property. It's very similar to that, but it's more around rituals and curses and stuff like that. You basically follow these kids that use jujitsu to exorcise demons and stuff like that. And it's cool. It's also got a Kung Fu Panda in it. So I don't know. Animals kicking the shit out of people seems to be my jam at the moment.
It's always a good thing. I remember watching a little cartoon with my cousin. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a little bird or a chicken. And then he's going, it's all cartoon. And it's like they're trying to rob something or can't fucking remember. But I just remember the chicken looking and I wanted to knock the guy out and the little chicken creeps up and goes, "I'll snap his neck." Funniest thing. Let's see if I can find that. I'll link you to it. But
I mean, overall though, like fucking the shows and shit I've been watching, they're great. Like it's just been... Yeah, there's some good stuff. I think, and I just showed Shelby last night. I think the hot favorite at the moment is the Spycross Family.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we watched 3 episodes.
Yeah, 3 episodes have been English dub. There's a couple more out there if you watch the sub. But basically, it's it's almost it's meant to be like a James Bond type secret agent. But I actually put it closer to like Archer kind of secret agent because he's meant to be like, he's known as the world's greatest detective and all the bad guys are, fear him, and he's, very, very he's very head of the game and whatever. Anyway, so he's been set with a mission basically that requires him to have a family to complete his mission. So he quickly goes and adopts a child, not knowing that the child is actually a telepath, and that's why she's so good at the role, because she's reading his mind the whole time and just answering the questions that he's got. And then he eventually meets a girl who's also very desperate to hook up all of a sudden, and they get married, but it turns out that she's actually an assassin. So he's a spy, she's a telepath, and she's an assassin, and none of them know each other's actual motives. They just think that they're setting up a little happy little family. Away they go. It's quite good. It's very different to everything else, is what I'd say. But yeah, people are dying for the little girl in it. She's adorable. I love the way, because she can read minds. She hears like shit people don't actually meant to say. Like, I could kill everyone in this room, and she would just be like, it's just the constant state of shock of things that she can hear. Makes it for a fucking great show. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing for a week, is basically just absorbing TV and stuff. Yeah, it's been good. Apart from that,
you, Shelby?
Yeah, Shelby.
Me, I've been doing a lot of coding, I guess, for the GTA RP scripts for 5M. Aside from that, I've been rewatching comfort TV, just comfort shows, things that I grew up with that I really liked, that Ilati would definitely groan and roll his eyes at me watching.
I mean, I watched Malcom in the Middle.
No, this is worse.
Oh yeah, go on.
Dance Academy, the show that
All
was
right,
filmed
I'm
in
out.
Australia. Yeah, it was filmed in Sydney. It's a really good show. That was like geared towards like young teenagers, but actually, although being like about a dance academy, it's also got like some really serious themes to it. So it was really good when I was a kid, and I really liked it. So rewatching that, like it was like the first show that I watched that had a character die in it. For like a lighthearted like dance show, and this guy just fucking dies. Completely makes me cry like every time, because they handle it really well. It's actually really good. So there's that. I watched Turning Red, which is the new Disney movie with the big red pandas. That was really cool.
Oh yeah,
I recommend that. The animation in it is gorgeous, and all the character design is so good. And it's set in the 90s, so there's a lot of really cool throwbacks, and they have like Tamagotchis and stuff, so it's all cool. Aside from that, really not much else. I feel like I've done a lot of like just blank scrolling on endless websites, not really absorbing anything because my brain is just dead. So
yeah, right. I watched the last season of Futurama again.
Oh, I can't watch the last episode, bro.
That last episode is a killer.
I hate fucking watching it.
You know it's coming back.
I know. I can't wait till it comes back. And they apparently, the last time we spoke about it, apparently the guy who voiced Bender didn't want to come back.
Yeah,
and then I just recently read that he's back in. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, so it should be, because I haven't watched King of the Hill yet. That's the one I really want to get back into.
Oh, King of the Hill's OG, bro. I used to love that.
Fucking love that show. So I've been watching some Simpsons, I watched some Family Guy, and I watched some Futurama. And none of it hits. Like, none of it hits like it should. Like, I just feel like it's sort of out of touch. A lot of people,
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's is good. I still think Bob's is good. I'm up to date with Bob's. I'm interested to see what the movie's like, actually. Because that's not far away. A couple of weeks now. That was the other thing as well. We haven't been able to see the Doctor Strange movie because we had to cancel our fucking tickets.
I know. I'm literally so pissed about that.
So, when are you out of ISO?
I'm technically out of ISO. Yeah.
Go tonight.
Yeah.
Look, even though we're technically out of isolation and whatever, it still feels like morally wrong to go out while really sick. Still.
Of course, yeah.
Although legally, yeah, go out. It's fine, totally cool. It just feels dirty to do it.
It's interesting. Just an observation. I don't want any Marvel fans to get upset with me or anything like that. It's just an observation. This Doctor Strange has had the biggest fucking media bloody trail leading into it. Like, I've never seen so many fucking trailers, like different trailers, and getting to the point where they like basically starting to spoil the movie. And I'm like, it's so much. It's like so much. And like, we're a few months away from Thor and we've got fuck all. Why did they spend nearly a year just jerking us off over fucking this Doctor Strange movie? It's one of the lowest reviewed Marvel movies.
Yeah, apparently it's not all that. Like, I've heard it's just okay, like
which brings me
good
back,
at best.
Yeah, which brings me back to this thing that keeps coming back when I was studying media, and they said if you ever see anything getting overhyped, it's going to be an average film. Like they're just trying to get you in those seats day one and get their money back before they fucking word gets out. It's maybe not that great. I had to catch up with some people on the day it came out, and a heap of people went and saw it. And I had to catch up with a few of them. It was like 50-50. 50% were like, that was something. And then other ones like, wow, fantastic, best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, interesting. It's the last, I think what was it, the Eternals or whatever it was? The Eternals? That thing was...
Eternals? That was
hot garbage. but I think they knew that, and they kind of just swept it aside. But this was like, I don't know, they try to hype it up more than... They try to make everyone believe that it's going to be amazing before they even see it. And then when they come out, they can't, they just be like, well, yeah, I guess what they said it was. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. I just noticed that the scores were like 70s out of 100, and they're normally high 80s, higher. So it goes to show, sometimes if the things are getting very hyped up, maybe temper your expectations. But yeah, I really want a fucking Maximon now.
It was definitely not worth it.
What do you mean not worth it? Maxibon's fucking great.
Fucking cottonmouth, bro. When it was trash, it wasn't even a nice flavor. It was that vanilla, like that caramel one.
That's okay.
No, yuck, bro.
You know what the best ones are? Nah, you know what the best ones are? Fucking iced coffee ones.
Iced coffee?
Yeah, you can get Dare iced coffee Maxibons.
I want to interject
go get COVID for another week, bro, so you don't taste that. That's
I was going to remind you, you can't currently taste anything, so don't get excited about thinking about how things taste. You can't taste them.
Did I tell you that when about Maxibon were at PAX one year, they did this whole thing where they like sponsored... Maxibon, yeah.
Did they call themselves Paxibon?
No.
Oh, okay.
But what they did do, though, is they had a competition to see who could eat a Maxibon the quickest. And it was like fucking 40 seconds or something like that. At the time, it was like 40 seconds of that. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to line up. What's the worst that'll happen? I'll get a fucking free Maxibon, yeah? And if people don't know what a Maxibon is, a fucking ice cream, yeah? So lined up, got up to the front, and I ran around, and they're like, okay, grab your Maxibons out of the freezer. And then you have to stand up on a platform in front of a crowd and fucking race to eat. Anyway, I reach into the fucking freezer, and the ones on the top weren't frozen. Like, they'd melted. And I'm like, well, this is a speed advantage, right? So I grabbed the melted one, and I went up, and they're like, okay, well, on your marks, get set, go. I like just cracked it open, and it just went all over my hands. So I just like got my two hands together and scooped up this big slop of ice cream and just slurped it down.
Yeah.
21 seconds.
You broke the record?
I got the record at the time. It was like whoever's at the end of the day was the fastest gets a fucking $50 voucher or something. I got a hat. I got a Maxibon hat for 21 seconds to slurp down. I was covered in ice cream and shit. Not my best look. Definitely was a huge crowd that saw it, but it was delicious. But at the end of the night, someone had done it in 13 seconds. Fucking beat my record, so I didn't get my.
That must have been like pure liquid when they did that.
It was.
You open the packet and like it's all like liquid. You just
like it wasn't
squeeze it out.
It wasn't like a bag of milk or anything like that. It was like it looks like a Maxibon, but if you touch it the slightest, it was just ready to cave in. I'm like, if I just smash this into my face, it'll be gone. But yeah, I don't. So yeah, I'll never forget Maxibons. Every time someone mentions Maxibons, I think about that, and I remember the crowd being like, "Ugh."
I'll do the exact same. I just like get this guy off stage, bro.
I would have been fairly grossed out, I think.
Okay, wow.
But it's just like a very visceral. I'm imagining to be a very visceral thing. Just kind of weird. But anyway, $50
is $50. What can I say?
Have you?
You didn't win $50. You won the hat. You said.
Yeah, well, I tried for the $50.
Have you ever done one of those like eating challenges where it's like a big food that you have to eat?
We talked about doing at one point on a previous podcast, going around and doing that, like a heap of food challenges and stuff like that. I was really obsessed at the time of watching Man vs. Food. That the fucking that bloke who goes around doing eating competitions wherever they are. He did like around America and he did like around the world as well. Mind you, I'd never fucking do it in America. Not after watching that show.
Fuck that.
It's like, okay, here we go. This is your taco, and we're going to put 5 pounds of cheese on it. If you can eat this in 5 minutes, we'll give you a T-shirt. Like, no. Or
Americans this is fucked when it comes to food.
This is the hottest chili ever, and it's cooked in the second hottest chili, and then it's stored in the third hottest chili. And if you can eat all 10 kilos of chili, it's like, fuck no. Why? At one point, I think the show was sponsored by like Quickies or some shit.
Quickies?
just like fucking like all these anti-heartburn and fucking stomach pills and shit like that.
You're gonna need more than Quickies, bro, if you're eating 5 kilos of cheese in 5 minutes. Yeah. God damn.
So there was one there's one in Melbourne that was like a Parma challenge. And it was I don't even know if they do it anymore. But there was a hotel in the city, a pub hotel sort of thing in the city, and they do what they call the Super Parma. And the Super Parma is basically 2 giant-ass Parmas next to each other, and then they just pile on extra cheese and bacon bits and ham and shit and just fucking roast the whole stuff and then serve it with like a plate of chips and a plate of salad and whatever. And if you could finish that in 45 minutes, you didn't have to pay for it. It was like a $50 Parma. So me and 2 of my mates, we went and tried it. I was never going to win because I don't make friends with salad, so I basically get disqualified immediately. My mate gave it his all, and I think he died at about like 40 minutes where he just couldn't move anymore. I remember we were like, yeah, man, we'll go do this, and then we'll hit the fucking town, blah, blah, blah. But after that, we just went home and died because it was fucking so much just food. But it was delicious. I don't know. I can't do spicy shit, so I'm never going to do spicy food challenges.
I love spicy. I love chili. I love everything that's hot.
Yes. I saw a video on YouTube, people doing like one of these eating competitions for giant food. And this is the only one I'd probably ever consider doing. It was just a giant singular dumpling, like a Chinese dumpling. Yeah. So it's just a big like dough ball filled with pork.
Have you watched Man vs. Food?
No.
So it's because he basically like halfway through the season he sort of gets into the point of sometimes when they make things bigger it just makes it not nice. Like I think there was one that they did, it was like a pie or something like that, but it was literally like this pastry and then like 8 kilos of meat in the middle of it. It's like it's just too much. It's just like it's too much meat.
You need a good balance between meat and pastry when it comes to a pie.
Yeah, that's the whole discussion they went into. It's like you don't just don't add more everything in it. Like the good ones, it's a proper meal that they've designed to be bigger and whatever. But oh fuck, man, there's some that was like I think they had one that was like nachos. And it was like fucking 5 kilos of nachos you got to eat in a certain amount of time. Mind you, this guy he could do it. Like he won most of these challenges on this fucking show. But yeah, it's nuts. I like the idea of like doing races and stuff like that. I remember. Oh, you know what? I remember in high school we had a pie eating competition. But it's like normally when they do that, it's like, sweet pies or whatever. This was like meat pies. Ooh. And I remember me and this other guy were favorites to win because we were just units. But this other guy, he's a actual unit. He didn't. Like, I think I bowed out at like 12 pies or 13 pies or something like that. This guy, they ran out of pies for the other guy.
Well, I have 1 pie and I'm dead. How do you have 12 pies?
Easy, yeah, I could, yeah.
What? I have 1 and I'm fucked for like a day, bro. What do you mean 12 pies?
I don't know. Normally I'd eat minimum of 2 to 3 pies in a sitting.
The real question is like on a day when you have an empty stomach, what's the most pizza you can eat?
No, that's not the way it works though, right? Why? Because your stomach is shrunk if it's empty.
Yeah, then you fill it with pizza.
No, but you need to expand your stomach. So you want to be just after a big meal, your second big meal. Is like got a big aircraft hangar to fill of food, that's when.
So how much?
I could eat 2 giant pizzas easy.
I've seen you eat 2 in a bit.
I could go through 1 Domino's and I'll be fucked.
3 Domino's. Domino's aren't real pizza.
Are you serious?
Easy.
I could probably do a Domino's and a half if I really tried, but I am a very slow eater. So
I'll die literally after like 5 or 6 pieces.
If I get like a traditional made Aussie with like the shredded ham and like that rich sort of tomato paste and cheese and egg and all that, like a fucking delicious pizza, easy. I could finish 3 of them, easy, no problem.
I've been thinking about this sort of thing a lot. And I'm fine to talk about it, but one of the things that, happening this year, I think in around 10 weeks or so, I'll be having surgery to make my stomach smaller. And when I was talking to the surgeon about like, how stomachs stretch out and things like that. So basically the way that it's going to work is they'll cut out the side of the stomach that does expand. So in future, I won't be able to be the pizza eater anymore, I'll be like one slice and done. And the idea of that is super weird.
Also, you'll know exactly how much food you need. Like it's just the same amount every time.
Is it the band or are they doing the actual like cut and it doesn't go
It's
around?
called a sleeve. So basically they'll insert a tube into my stomach and through, and they use that as a guide to then cut the rest of the stomach away.
Yeah, my cousin got the band.
Yeah, the bands are really bad these days.
Yeah, they can open them up and everything if they want to more. And it's fuck, because I see him eat like one thing and then he's vomiting. Like he'll have 2 little pieces of tuna cucumber or whatever, and then he'll end up in the bathroom vomiting.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason why the band is not practiced as much these days, because it's literally like a zip tie around your stomach, and they can slip and like strangle your organs.
I just want to go further with this because this is the conversation I had because one of my colleagues had the same thing done, and we traveled a lot, so we always ate all our meals and stuff together. And she was telling me that people get the sleeve and then they'll be like, Christmas is coming up. I'm just going to crack this open a little bit. There we go. A little bit more for Christmas. And they'll just eat more. And I'm like, what the fuck's the point?
I've heard that for the band and the balloon, but the sleeve, you can't do that.
Yeah, and I'm talking about the band.
The band, yeah. There's also one that people have been pioneering as like a surgical thing, where there's like basically a port that you can then fill with saline when you want more restriction.
Oh God.
And then you can actually empty it so that you have more room in your stomach, and that's something people are doing, which is kind of wild.
Yeah,
it's very strange. Yeah.
So it's and look, it's people go, oh yeah, they'll eat less or whatever. It's not eat less, it's eat little. Like it's. Like you go from having a full meal to having like my friend who I traveled with, we'd go fucking go get a kebab or whatever for lunch or whatever. It turned into I'd get a kebab and she'd get a boiled egg and that's it, and that would hold her off for the rest of the day. And like we get given like I think it was like $45 a meal because we're on work time. Right, so we go to this fucking fancy ass restaurant. I get a $90 steak and she eats a boiled egg.
So you can look forward to that as our future. By the way, you can get like a steak and a salad. I'll take the salad. We'll be right.
No, you'll just take 2 like tomato pieces from the salad.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
It's going to be a very interesting learning curve, I think. And a lot of like people often buy like the plates with like the little measurements on them to make sure they don't really go over.
Yeah, she had little fucking what are they called? Like the little containers. Like little storage containers, and she just popped one out every time it was like food time. And then like,
it's just kind of crazy though, because you could kind of think about your stomach and like we're saying, like we could eat like 2 Domino's pizzas or whatever. How much fucking stretching is happening in your body to accommodate that?
I mean,
imagine you get a pizza and you like screw it up into a bowl.
Hey, if you picture the Homer Simpsons when he like loosens the belt strap, it's that. It's that. It's literally that. Everybody.
It's true, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I always think of the Super Palmer because that was just so much fucking chicken and cheese, and like I felt like I had a cement truck inside me. It was delicious, but then I was in pain for almost a day.
Yeah.
Some people do but yes, I can eat a lot. No, I don't eat a lot though. Like it's not. I'm not having that much food every day. It's a one-off.
It's just that occasional.
I just know that I can do that. That's what I can do. I am big boy. I can eat lots. But like particularly now that fucking COVID's taking my taste buds away, I eat fuck all. And that's the thing is I'll be like, man, why do I feel like shit? It's like, oh shit, I haven't eaten in 13 hours. I should probably eat something. But yeah, it's like, but there are some people out there who will literally eat that much fucking food every day, and that's just how they function.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. Have you guys ever seen the show Super Size vs Super Skinny?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, it's like a British show, and it was like super problematic. They would basically get a really overweight person with really bad habits and pair them up with a really skinny person with really bad habits, and like compare them. So you're getting like somebody who's morbidly obese who eats like 10 packets of cookies a day or something. Like it was always super extreme, and they're pairing them up with like a bulimic who drinks like 3 cups of coffee a day.
That kind of just seems weird.
It's a pretty a very old show. Like it's aged, but if you ever see clips on YouTube, it's pretty fucked up. what they, then they force them to swap diets, and it never goes well, of course.
I think I saw a clip. I don't know if it's from that show or whatever, but it was a clip of this absolutely morbid obese lady who doesn't get out of her bed, and then this guy who was getting paid to care for her because she was on disability, so he was a carer, but all he did was cook food for her all day.
Some guys are into that. That's like a thing. There's guys who spend a lot of time with fat women and feed them, and that's their kink.
That's so weird.
And it's a weird thing. There's also shows about that as well, like reality TV. There's so much trash out there. There's also My 500-Pound Life or something. I think I don't know. It's the one where it is following the journey of people who are actually going to having weight loss surgery. And some of them do really well and it's like super wholesome. But then you have the ones who are just like really fucking terrible people who are just like, not only are they like awful, like they're physically they're having a problem, but they're also just really nasty to people around them, and they like make people serve them and they abuse the nurses. There's this one guy whose name was Steven, and his episodes are absolutely notorious because of the way he was treating people. And in the end, like, he got kicked out of the hospital. And
I've seen the clips for that. I've seen the clips for that because they just fucking give up on the guy. They're like, mate, if you're not going to help yourself, we're not going to help you either, and kick him out.
100%, yeah, and he was being super nasty to people.
And I'm like, I thought that was fantastic. I love that bit.
It was a bit cathartic, I think, to see him get, that response.
I also want to point out that I'm getting all these clips because obviously you're on my internet and you're searching all this
We
shit.
share an algorithm, basically.
Yeah, so I'm just getting all these weird fucking clips now. I'm like, must be Shelby.
Well, it's one of those interesting things. I've been talking about it recently, being like a plus size woman, is if I ever shop for like plus size clothes online, suddenly the algorithm knows that and I get suggested things like diet videos, diet pills. I also get suggested like those sort of clips from those reality TV shows. It's like, wow, you're chubby. You must want to know everything about chubby people.
Yeah, so I don't actually. Fucking Vince might know more about this shit because it's kind of web stuff, but it's almost as if they tag your IP with keywords, and then go, because like it's this shit that's cross-pollinating now that it shouldn't be. Like, I'm not using the same account to log into, like, for like TikTok and Twitter, like they shouldn't cross-pollinate, but they do. Like I see shit on Twitter, I go to TikTok, I see the same shit. I'm like, how?
Yeah, so basically your phone picks up keywords that you type. So if you have an iPhone, it gives you the option. It'll say ask app to track or ask app not to track. And what it does is it picks up keywords and it sends it over through your ISP or whatever you're on, and then it links it all together. So it's fucking very freaky. Like, I'll be at work and I'll have a customer come in and sit for 10 minutes. Then the customer will leave and then they'll come up as people you may know on my Instagram.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Because they've just been around me, and then the cell towers pick it up.
As someone who tries to remain fairly anonymous online, like separate from my real life, I don't like that. And it has happened to me a few times now. And I recently made an Instagram account, and that Instagram account was supposed to be just about like my gaming and my online stuff and like be linked to content creation. However, immediately I got followed by a bunch of people who I don't interact with aside from on Facebook as my real self.
Well, that's different because Facebook and Instagram are...
But I completely disconnected them, and I made it so I wasn't discoverable and everything like that.
Then it's back to the IP thing that we're talking about, where they just 100%. Fucking... Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it.
It's hard being anonymous out there.
Yeah, I think... and there's been a few conversations. Obviously, I run Team OC, and there's some content creators in there that are feeling as if they cannot stay anonymous anymore, and that's kind of a reason for like dipping out of content creation. But there's also been some conversations around identity, in the sense of, is it even worth creating identity and being on the internet now, or maybe you just go as your identity and control your message and that sort of stuff. It's a whole fucking thing. I know that, for just an example, shout out to an absolute fucking legend, Insano, no longer Insano. He's gone with Drew, which is a play on his real name, Drew Sun, and then now he's just going to be himself, basically.
A lot of it comes down to like feeling like you have no choice these days as well. And like, kudos to the people who manage to still remain anonymous. Like, for instance, Corpse Husband, the content creator, he's somehow still anonymous. No face reveal out there at all. No content about who he is.
But I feel like that's a different thing, because he's so beloved by fans and stuff like that, and he's made it very clear that it's one thing that he really needs to hang on to. And he's got this whole, he's got this whole protection circle around him. where I don't know. It was look. I'm not trying to be stereotypical or anything like that, but if it was a very attractive woman who's very suggestive on the internet, they would be fucking putting up their home address as soon as they found it. You know, it's weird behavior, and unfortunately, the internet works more in the favor of the more information out there, the more money we can make, rather than hey, let people control. You know how much information. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely more controls and stuff there now, but it's all hidden in the back end of coding and shit like that. So, like, you have to go find your terms and services. I think there was one that was on Reddit the other day, and it was like, do you agree to the terms and services and let us capture your data, blah, blah, blah. Like, they put it all in one thing, so you couldn't actually enter the website without agreeing to sell your information.
Yeah, it's fucking cooked, bro. I know with Facebook, there's a way to get all the stuff turned off, but it takes about 45 minutes. You got to go through so much settings to stop all the app tracking and all that shit.
Yeah, and there's no way that that's not deliberate.
No, of course. They do it on purpose. They make it as hard as possible so people just give up.
Yeah, I used to do advertising through my work through Facebook. And I mean, it's still pretty bad, but it used to be you could be like, all right, well, I want to advertise to women between the age of 18 and 27 who has a cat, are single, and they like noodles. And they live in these 3 suburbs. And they'll be like, cool, there's 3,400 people that match that description. We can advertise them for $5.
Yeah, and you can, even in marketing, you can go and purchase segments of data on all these people as well to target them separately from the actual ad service.
There's literally businesses that are just made on capturing your data and selling your data. That's it.
Yeah. Google ad settings. I know we've talked about Google ad settings before.
Yeah.
And you can see what Google thinks about you. Based on, what interactions you've had online. This one is convinced that I want to join a pyramid scheme at the moment. It says that I'm interested in MLM business opportunities. Boy, that is so wrong. I'm in a Facebook group called Anti-MLM, just so I can see all the posts about people roasting
maybe it's ilati who wants to join it and it's just the IP picking it up.
It's possible. And it also says that I'm married. So I didn't know that, and I should probably figure out what's going on there.
When did that happen?
We're also in upper middle class, by the way. Whereas
that's based on where we live.
Is it? Okay, that makes sense because we're definitely not.
Yeah, no, we definitely not. And it's it's. I don't want to talk about where we live, but it's certainly this suburb has gone from being it used to be industrial, and then it turned into like lower class.
It's heavily gentrified,
and now it's yuppies.
Yeah, it's gentrified.
But we are borderlining hipsters. And it's starting to bleed, and it's kind of getting weird.
Yeah,
it's but like people talk about in Melbourne. People talk about Brunswick, and they're like, Brunswick is its own animal in so many ways. If you haven't been to Brunswick, just go to Brunswick on like a Sunday morning, and you'll just see people working. Like, I literally went to Brunswick on a Saturday night, and I think I've mentioned it before, but I went into a restaurant to have some fucking dumplings, and there was a guy there feeding dumplings to his macaw. He was also dressed like a fucking pirate. He's not playing a character or anything. That's just how he lives his life.
That's who I aspire to be.
But that's there's just crazy shit like that everywhere, and that's normal. That was the time I went to a nightclub, and I got they had think nightclub, right? So dingy, dark, got a bar at the front, dance floor at the back. And then on the right-hand wall is all these like seating booths, and in those seating booths are artists, and they were doing like nail art and stuff like that, so you can get your nails done. And then on the left-hand wall was just canvases and paint and painting. That is Brunswick. It's just
that sounds about accurate.
I went to another bar in Brunswick. The walls were made out of projections of like they had film projectors going on all the walls, and they were playing Predator in 360 in the bar. So we could drink while watching Predator on any wall that you're looking at.
That's hectic.
It was fucking great. What a great movie.
That's hectic. I mean, I'd play my music on it, to be honest, just my music videos. But yeah, I wouldn't play Predator, but that's hectic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a hip hop gig, that bar that I went to, the first one. It's just, they just have underground, I forget what they're called. It was like an underground hip hop or whatever. And they bring aspiring hip hop artists to come and basically just throw bars and freestyle and shit like that. It's really cool. But yeah, anyway, the thing is that Brunswick's got this whole reputation for all this cool shit that I just mentioned, and all these people that want to go there. The thing is, it's so popular, the price of everything goes up, but also the lifestyle doesn't generate a lot of income, generally speaking. So it's in this weird thing where everyone wants to be there, no one can afford to be there. So they sort of end up like spreading out into these other suburbs where it's much more affordable, like old industrial zones and stuff like that. And then they get their hippie lifestyle there, and it's sort of spreading out. And then now we're finding this area that was going to turn sort of upper class has become sort of a mix, which is it's cool for me. It's sort of my vibe more than anything. But it's funny where you see like celebrities. Like B grade celebrities, Australian celebrities who have bought their fucking McMansion, and then next door they've got a share house with 12 backpackers. You know, but that's it. That's the lifestyle. You're just gonna have to get used to it.
What a life!
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. But that's why we're upper middle class, even though it feels like we're fucking poor as shit. I think the whole world thinks the whole Australia thinks they're very poor at the moment. Anyway, the economy's kind of gone topsy-turvy, and it's an election year, so who fucking knows what's going on.
And interest rates have risen.
Generally, cost of even like buying food is a lot higher now.
The more you look into it, the more you think, how is this so fucked and no one's doing anything about this? And that kind of makes me depressed, so I stopped looking into it. But it's definitely, I think we're in an age now where, like, I think confidently we can just agree, fuck all people watching free-to-air TV, right? Like
no one's watching 3D. No one's watching 3D.
Unless you're 50 years or older, you know, you're not.
I'm going to say 70 and older, bro. Not even 50s are watching.
So we're in this age where, like, I get most of my news or like even the threads I'll see on TikTok. Someone will talk about it and I go, interesting, and then I'll go and look up more about it and find more info. If you look at the information that you're fed organically through your social networks and your friend circles and stuff like that, versus what's being fed to us in the newspapers and the mainstream media, it's very different. Like, it's so different. Like, it's not in any way even close to each other, which makes you wonder how fucking long has it been a case of we just believed everything we saw on TV because that was our only outlet, and how much bullshit has been going on for years and years and years. Because a lot of time you look at it and you feel like shit's worse, right? It feels like everything's much worse than it was. But in reality, I think it was more the fact that we have more freedom of information and we actually can see what's going on, where really shit's probably been bad forever. I don't know. It's just an observation, but it's just the stuff that you see on, like, even, I mean, I've bitched about news.com before and how fucking trash that is. It's fucking garbage. And it's just, it makes me angry because they have the news.com.au, which means that people go, I want news. And they type in news and then they get, you know, fucking, what was it today? There was a bloody, I looked on there and the first thing I saw was fucking, oh my God, look at these TikTokers calling out people that called them fat. Like, how the fuck is that news? We're in a fucking COVID pandemic part 4 and an election year, and you're talking about TikTok for people who are basically saying that their boyfriends broke up with them because they're fat. I'm like, well, that's not news. And then I go to ABC News or even go to Reddit. The fucking shit that's on Reddit tends to be more fucking open and honest than the shit that you get on, a news website.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's all fucked. It's yeah. And unfortunately, I mean, you look at the like social media and stuff like that, and it always tells you basically what you want to hear because that's the algorithm working for you. All right, trust me when you go, oh, it's good to see that fucking everyone hates ScoMo. Someone who loves ScoMo and clicks the I love ScoMo button on their social media are getting I love ScoMo videos. Trust me, it's so because this is the trap that America fell into, where everyone was complacent with, oh, there's no way Trump's getting elected because just look on Twitter, everyone hates Trump, and then Trump got elected because what you're seeing is what you want to see. You're seeing a tailored message for you. And yeah, at the end of the day, everyone needs to vote properly. I have seen, I think probably the best voting ads and stuff like that, without going super political, is that not the you should vote for XYZ or you shouldn't vote for XYZ. It's you should fucking do your research. That's it. That's the whole message. Just go actually freaking it. Like, yeah, don't, what was it? Don't vote like a boomer. That's the one. Don't vote like your dad. Don't vote for your family's choice. Do your research. That was the whole message. I thought that's fucking...
Vote Quimby.
Vote Quimby. Fuck yeah, man. Quimby's probably the closest to ScoMo, let's be honest.
They're fucking twins. They even look the same. Quimby's just got hair.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to kind of circle back like a little bit because we're talking about like ScoMo and we mentioned food. I think it's worth mentioning. Has anyone seen the photo of ScoMo's curry that he posted?
No.
The raw chicken.
Okay,
the raw chicken?
Yeah, so basically just because we got to paint a picture for the viewers. You know, curry is usually usually dark and there's a lot of flavors and herbs and spices in them. ScoMo keeps boasting about how everyone loves his curry, so he posted a picture of it.
It was like a creamy, like a yellowy, creamy kind of curry.
It looked like it was like milk white almost.
Yeah.
And the chicken in it did not look cooked.
It was clucking.
It was clucking.
Yeah.
So it's not a curry. It was almost like chicken in a cream sauce. To me, that's what it looked like.
Man loves his curries. So do you know more about this? Because I have more.
Go on. Yeah. No,
yeah. So he posted up because you got to be relatable, right? He cooks his own dinner. What a man. Fucking what a man. So he loves his curries. Post that up there, and social media just fucking necks him immediately, right? As you do, as social media does, all right? They go, look at this fucking dickhead. Your chicken is raw. What an idiot. What an idiot. Look at this man, can't even cook chicken, right? So as the prime minister of this country, probably not a great idea to just get into an argument over chicken. No, he did. He came out with a fucking statement about how his chicken is cooked and everything's fine. Stop. Like, that's his concern. That's the concern of our prime minister, is he came out with a statement to say that the chicken was cooked, it's fine, it was well and truly, like, he literally, I think he said how long he cooked it for and everything like that. Like, he doesn't come out and talk about half the fucking political issues, but he comes out and talks about his chicken.
He's fucked, bro.
Yeah, I was watching this fucking, this bloody clip on YouTube, and this guy was explaining, like, well, he deep dived into it. He's like, what the fuck are they trying to prove by making this? And they reckon that it was a straight up, like he said, it's either the dumbest thing or it's the smartest diversion that they've ever had. Because if the worst thing he can do is not cook chicken, which he's doing much worse, then, you know, everything's going to be right in the world. But yeah, fuck, man, it's so dumb. Like, it's like, if that was a true Aussie and someone came up and said, hey mate, your chicken's fucking raw, you'd just be like, I should have left it on longer. Whatever. Like, it's not.
No, you go release a statement, bro. What do you mean?
Press conference, fucking whatever. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I'm so disappointed in the quote unquote leadership.
It kind of reminds me of remember when Tony Abbott was getting like ousted and everyone was doing the whole leave your onions out for Tony Abbott? And people were leaving like raw onions out in their porch steps and things like that as like a joke. Because for those who don't know, who might be like foreign, not Australian, he has eaten raw onions multiple times for like photo ops, like just bitten into them like an apple, and it's quite concerning. So the whole thing was leave your onions out for Tony Abbott, and I feel like we should do something similar for curry. We should all make curry. And make it better and cooked properly. Cook our chickens for ScoMo. Cook your chook.
Cook your chook. Fucking hell. Yeah. I always go back at my favorite like time of like political anything. And in hindsight, it was probably good for the economy and everything in that time. It was the era that I like to call the Chasers' War and everything. Because that was the greatest fucking just like holding politicians to what they are, which are just they're people. But they're starting to rise. All these clips are coming up because they're comparing what our current leadership is like it used to be. And I don't know if anyone watched Chasers before, but they used to have this bit that was like a weekly bit. Our prime minister at the time, John Howard, Mr. Eyebrows, used to go for his morning run or whatever it was, his morning jog. And the chasers would like meet him out on the path and like dressed up as the Grim Reaper or, dressed up in all these sort of different costumes, and they'll ask him stupid questions and they'd all have a bit of a giggle and whatever. Can't do that anymore. Like, if fucking ScoMo doesn't let you film in his general vicinity, let alone fucking. There was one, I remember the news made this whole thing up where one of the chasers gave Johnny a hug after they all had a bit of a giggle. And he had a screwdriver in his hand, and then the news is like, that could have been a knife. Our security is nothing. He could have just stabbed our prime minister right then. And then that like everyone made this big deal out of it. And they're like, oh, well, I guess it could have, but it didn't. Fine.
But is it me? Am I the only one that remembers this, or do you remember this? John Howard once said on TV that if there was a terrorist attack, there's no need for them to blow up the Harbour Bridge because it wouldn't blow up if they hit the Harbour Bridge. They need to hit the sides of it to destroy it. Do you remember this? Or like, am I the only one that remembers this? Like, he literally told them the target for the Harbour Bridge is the sides of the bridge. Okay, I'm the only one who remembers this.
Yeah, I don't remember that. He probably came straight out of a security brief where they're like, yeah, no, we're fine. As long as they don't know they have to hit the sides. Like, oh, good, yeah, the sides.
But I close my eyes and I vividly remember this on the news, and I even see, like, I could close my eyes and I could picture it, like, vividly. Like him sitting there, standing there saying it.
Do you remember the chases that they did this skit where they had that global summit in Sydney, and they did this skit with like, hey, if we just get a black sedan, put some flags on it, we can get a guy dressed up as Bin Laden into the summit just as long as we've got some security guards running past it. And everyone's like, dude, yeah, right, man, never work. And then they ran up to the gate and they just got waved in immediately. So then they got into a situation where there were basically a bunch of comedians in a compound dressed up as Bin Laden with people with guns and stuff around them. And they're like, fuck, we've actually gotten in. What are we going to do? Like, all right, let's do a U-turn. And then they try to do a U-turn and then it just all goes to shit. And then eventually he gets out of the car. Do you guys see this? You remember this at all?
No.
Fuck, man. It's like, it's the definition of a joke gone too far. Because, yeah, it was obviously, they proved that we have no security. They could quite literally just drive Bin Laden into a government fucking summit. Oh man, I'll post some clips and shit up later. I love fucking chases. I actually went and saw them. They came to Melbourne Comedy Festival one year and we went and saw them. And the shit that they talked about, mainly like they talked sort of like peek behind the curtain sort of stuff, like shit that they got away with. That they just didn't think they'd get away with, basically. But they ended up they did Chases, War and Everything, which was it was an ABC show, funny enough. And then they went international because they were getting too recognized, so they couldn't get away with shit anymore. And then they started getting recognized overseas, and then they had to pull the pin on it. And they all do their own things now. But man, some of the shit they got away with, fucking wild. But I'll never get rid of never forget the time that they broke into that summit. Just by literally just driving in with a flag on their car. That's it.
Exactly.
But yeah, obviously they got, the media went crazy afterwards. But stuff like that doesn't even happen anymore because they kicked that kid out of the pub for filming instead of taking a photo of ScoMo or some shit. I don't even remember.
What do you mean?
There's some kid and he went up to ScoMo and he's like, it's like, oh, take a photo. And he's like, yeah. And then he found out that it wasn't a photo, it was a video. And he's like, no videos, I'm here on a private function. And I kicked him out of the pub.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you can't film around ScoMo.
Yeah, I've definitely seen clips come up of people who, like, he's using them for a photo op. Like, he loves taking photos of young people, but then they go, hey, ScoMo, I just want to ask you some questions about climate change. And suddenly his team are, like, pushing away the cameras and, like, running away from them. And it's hilarious every time because they're not even subtle about it. They're just refusing to talk to people, but they'll happily take photos with these kids and, like, teenagers and young adults for the photo op because he doesn't appeal to us as a market, so he really tries to.
Well, not only that, like I was literally watching a clip just before this where they had these guys were filming. ScoMo was doing one of his like his election ads, if you like. And they're like, small business, blah blah blah. But no, they got a full film crew, scripted actors, and they're going takes after takes, and they're demanding everyone looks more happy. And they're doing it was like a set of Home and Away. Or what should be a fucking just a quick shot of ScoMo talking to regular Australians. Didn't happen. Anyway, I chucked that ad in the topics thing. You could see straight from the first picture. They weren't being subtle. They still got into the G8 summit. Back talking about chases again. But yeah.
They're always up to something.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it wasn't being subtle. The video is wild. They
just like my dad, bro.
Well, I think from memory, fucking hell. From memory, they pull up at the hotel where like all the world leaders are.
Fuck me dead.
It's a funny one. Anyway, politics are fucked. World's fucked. Australia's fucked. Everything's fucked. All fucked, mate.
Cunt's fucked.
Cunt's fucked.
Cunt's fact.
Actually, you remind me of that fucking. You see the I forget what rank he was, but the Aussie cop who's doing the press conference.
No.
So he's like a senior sergeant or some shit. And he's talking about something, and they got a full press conference happening. And then as he's talking, a car goes past beeping his horn. He's like, "Thanks, you cunt." And then it goes worldwide viral immediately. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, Australians!" It's like, yeah, and he's not even just a regular Australian. That's a cop.
That's a sergeant.
I like that. I kind of find it funny how we're viewed by the rest of the world. You ever think too much about it? And like, especially if you ever meet like an American online who's just like super excited to talk to an Australian, and they just ask you all the questions, just like, so you guys say cunt a lot. What's the deal with that? What do you mean when you say that somebody calls you a mate and that's bad? Like, it's just, I just think the way that we're portrayed is hilarious.
Well, I've got one of my TikToks blew up because they were picking on the fact that there's no R in no. I'm like,
what do you mean there's no R in no?
He's going, nah.
I go, no. And they're like, there's no R in no. I'm like,
yeah, but they also say mom. So we can't take like linguistic advice from Americans.
Yeah,
we should never take any advice from Americans. Sorry to all the Americans listening, but you cunts are fucked.
Oh, our viewers just disappeared.
We're also pretty fucked, though. We're pretty fucked here at the moment.
I said the world's fucked. Everything's fucked.
The whole world is fucked. Shanghai is fucked right now. We're fucked. I think the UK's having issues with their politics as well.
I moved to Norway. That's the best place. My mate lives in Norway.
Nice. Yeah.
I got a mate in Norway and a mate in Sweden. They're loving it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Let's go.
Your shout. You paying? Is this podcast pay us enough to move to Sweden?
You know what? If we get 1,000 likes on this,
1,000 likes. You heard it. 1,000 likes. Ilati's taking us all to Sweden.
You do jest, but like I have thought about the idea of just like moving to the country to the middle of nowhere so I could just homestead and like.
You don't have internet.
I don't know if I want internet anymore. The way the future's going. I'll just go back to having my little Mega Drive and my Game Boy.
Go back.
You think you don't want internet, but trust me, you need internet. Everyone needs it.
I don't think internet's just super depressing.
Look, speaking of someone, we recently got our internet cut off. All right, I'm going to call out Telstra for their brilliance here.
Boo.
They cut off my internet because I failed to pay my bill. That's due in 3 weeks. So, yeah. When I asked them, why is my account overdue? They're like, oh, silly, that's an error. Obviously, it's not due yet, so it can't be overdue. I'm like, cool. I was worried you're going to cut off my internet. They're like, no, we would never do that. And I went, oh. By the way, you cut off my internet. And they're like, oh, it's because your account's an overdue. I said, no, you just fucking told me that's an error. And they're like, oh, my bad. Literally, 3 a.m., I couldn't watch my Malcom in the Middle anymore because they cut my internet off. And I said and they're like, well, it should come back up in like 24 to 48 hours. I'm like, no, it won't. That's not happening. It's not happening. I got them to fix it in about 14 minutes. But
so Telstra is finally bringing their call centers back to Australia.
Good.
Yeah, it took them long enough. It took them an entire fucking lockdown where we needed them the most for them to offshore everything to a country that copped fucking 1 million cases a day and they went into lockdown, so you couldn't even get in touch with Telstra.
Right, Telstra just fucking...
They're the worst company ever, bro. Like, they got the best service, but they have the worst... They got the best service, but the worst customer service.
Yeah. They've got the product is good, the people, not so good. It's just...
Bro, they're fucking trash.
Well, I mean, that guy literally said to me, I would never cut off your internet. And then I literally said to him 1 minute later, you did cut off my internet. And he's like, oh, it's because your account's overdue. I'm like, you literally just told me it's not. Are you off? Like, what? I'm like, how? How is someone that thick? And I could, oh man, it makes me mad because I'm an individual that knows when, like, I know when it's bullshit, and I can call it out. But if that was like some nana, she'd be like, oh, well, get the card and I guess I'll pay it then. I'm going to have to pay that bill. It's like, no, I'm not paying a bill from the future that I haven't paid yet.
Yeah, you have to pay regardless, though.
No, but so it's due on the 17th of this month, and it's overdue already. So they're literally punishing me, assuming I'm not going to pay it till the 17th or after the 17th. I don't even know. They just said it's an error in the system. I'm like, cool. If it's an error in your system, then I literally said to him, I said, well, this is an error that is, putting me out of it. So what are you going to do about it? And they're like, well, we'll get it fixed 24 to 48 hours. I said, no, it's not going to happen. So that's not going to happen. And I said, well, what's going to happen? I said, well, right now I can't use a service that I'm paying for. For starters, I'm going to be billing you for the time that you're not doing it. They quickly backed down and they gave me a credit immediately. So I think I've got like $50 off my next bill because I just said to him, I said, no, mate, it's your fuck up. You said it's your fuck up. It's not my thing. And speaking of which, right, we have well and truly established, right? Every household, every family needs a Karen, right? This is the person.
It's ilati.
This is the person when you go to Boost Juice and you order a particular drink and then they give you another drink with ginger in it and you hate ginger. You don't say, thank you, smile, and go off and drink your horrible drink. You go and you tell them that it's the wrong fucking drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby.
Yeah.
Also,
continue.
Just a total side note, we also ordered McDonald's on that one day out that we got COVID and we got a cheeseburger with no burger.
What?
Yeah, they were crazy busy. It was Anzac Day, I think. So it
had no meat. It's just no meat.
It had no meat. It was just it was a tomato sauce sandwich at that point.
It was at least you tried sandwich.
Yeah, well, Ilati's definitely the Karen of the household.
Yeah. So anyway, and I put this in the topics chat, and you'll see which one I'm referring to. So I had some stuff that was coming from America, and I was getting sick. Shelby was already sick. Shelby wanted her food from Woolworths, where she ordered it, and it was meant to be here in like an hour, and then we're already in like day 2 waiting for this food, and Shelby hadn't gone Karen, so she didn't get her food.
I had talked to them 6 times.
But did you go Karen?
I didn't go Karen until the last one.
And how long did it take to get here?
They switched to a different courier service and they got it to me in an hour after I complained properly.
No, but like from the original order?
Oh, 19 hours.
19 hours to get.
For an hour and a half delivery.
Yeah.
So
on this day, while she's waiting for it, right, someone buzzes the front door. It's a courier. It's like fucking TNT or something like that. No, I don't know. I can't remember. I won't call that. It's whatever. Anyway, they're like, yo, we got a package for you. And Shelby's like, well, we got COVID. We can't come down. He's like, well, if you can't come down and sign for it, I'll just fucking leave. And then Shelby's like, okay. And then that was it. So then the guy just fucking took my package and back to the depot because he's like, well, if you can't sign for it and you got COVID, suck shit, basically. And I'm like, I'm never going to see that package again because it's not going to go to the post office. It's going to go back to wherever
back to the warehouse. Yeah.
He told me they were going to send it to the local post office, but the one on the other side of town.
Anyway.
Either way, it's shit.
So I ring him up. I go, Shelby's like, I might be downstairs still. So I went downstairs, absolutely nothing. Didn't leave a card, nothing. I got nothing to go on. I'm like, fuck it. So I ring him up and then I said, hey, dickhead, your driver just turned up here and he wouldn't give us the stuff because we have COVID. He basically laughed in our face and told us to get fucking die and leave. All right, I said, it's not on. And he goes, oh, I'm really sorry to hear about that. I said, no, you will be sorry because I'm coming down to your depot right now with COVID and I'm going to give it to you all. You're all going to get fucking COVID because of this. And he's like, oh, you can't do that. And I said, well, you're going to have to deliver it, aren't you? And they're like, well, we can't. You're going to have to put a thing. I said, well, I'm coming down then. I'm going to have to come down and handle this in person. All right, where's your address? He's like, you can't come down, sir. I said, well, you can't come here. I can't go there. What's going to happen? One of us is going somewhere. And he's like, anyway, so an hour later, they delivered it again and left it downstairs for me.
You are definitely a Karen.
And also a bioterrorist, I think.
Yeah.
1 hour. It took me 1 hour to get my package back. The guy buzzed the door. He said, I've been told to leave this here. And then he left.
God damn.
I didn't want to have to deal with you. See, I probably would have had my Woolworths issues sorted faster had you not been streaming because I would have just made you do
20 minutes. Would have been here in 20 minutes, guarantee it.
20 minutes.
You would have come and unpacked it and cooked your dinner for it.
And it's not that I'm anti-complaining. I will complain sometimes, but I just don't like
when
the idea that my inconvenience is inconvenience other people.
No, but it's not. But the thing is, it's not your inconvenience is their convenience because all they're going is, I can't be bothered delivering to this fucking lady. She doesn't need this food. It's like, no, I fucking paid for it. Your job's to do it. Fucking do it.
It got to a point where I guess when they finally sent it to me, I think I just made them feel really guilty because I started crying on the phone and said, I have COVID. All these supplies are supposed to help you with COVID because I was stressed out to the max. I wasn't faking.
Should have said you're going to go down there. You should have said, I'm going down there. You should have been like, I'm going down here.
No way. But I was crying, like, legitimately, and I think that's when they felt really bad. So
yeah, but they fucked up. It's like, oh man, it's like people not doing the bare minimum is like my pet peeve. And
I just think, okay, like, it boils down to the ideal relationship will have one person who's willing to tell people when something's gone wrong.
Imagine what we could do if both of us would call everyone out on their shit.
We would probably
you create a fucking new galaxy.
Fucking no one would ever. I'd live in fear.
Because it's actually become a meme on TikTok though, where people are just like posting pictures of couples like from fiction and stuff like that, and they just have it like captioned like excuse me, he said no pickles, and like how each character relationship has that dynamic.
There was literally an episode. And this is the thing. This is why I love Malcolm in the Middle. Right? It's a fucking show from the early 90s. There's an episode about this where she goes out. The mother who's fucking is a Karen. Right? Straight up. That's the point of the show almost. She goes out with like this well-to-do family and whatever, and then she's the well-to-do mother. She's like, "Oh, I'll have an iced tea," and then the server's like, "We only have warm tea," and then the Karen's like, "Well, you have tea and you have ice, don't you? Make fucking iced tea." And she's like, "It's fine. I'll take the warm tea." And then they bring out cranberry juice, and then she's like, "It's fine. I like cranberry juice." It's like. The other woman's like, "It is not fine," and the server's just
That's
like,
literally me. Like
the server's like, "No, you didn't. You asked for cranberry juice." It's like, "Yeah, it's fine. I like cranberry juice." It's like,
it's funny though, because like when I sipped that drink at Boost Juice that had the ginger in it, I was like, I guess I could like ginger. Yeah, in my head, like I literally thought that.
Literally that. It's fucking. It's Anyway, it's like, I don't know. It's the thing, I suppose, from working in customer service for the longest time. Like, if I ever fucked up anything, them not saying anything about it and like leaving was the worst. It's like, especially like I used to like mix paint and stuff, and like if they go, "Hey, I need this paint," and then I just mixed up the wrong one, they go, "Okay, thanks," and they leave. It's like, oh, I could have solved their problem if they said something, but now they're gone and they didn't say anything, so. Yes, they'll never come back because they'll be so embarrassed. They'll never ever come back and shop with us. So yeah, I don't know. I think, if something's wrong, say something. Basically, is my point. Don't be a pussy.
Well, I don't need to say anything. You can say things for me.
But also, like, if they are genuinely screwing you around, say you ordered your groceries and they said it would be here, and then they said it would be here, and then they said it would be here, and it's still not here. Fucking call them out on that shit, because it's a decent human would go, yeah, we did kind of mess this up. And
for those who want context as to why the order kept getting delayed, pretty much what happens is they book it in through a taxi service to be delivered.
And then they did pick it up.
And then when the taxi driver rejects the order, nobody rebooks it.
Yeah. And then like remember last time this happened? And then they're like, I guess no one came and picked it up.
Yep. So then that happened again. They said 6 times in a row that it was all.
Did they refund you this time?
They refunded me my delivery costs and they gave me a discount code. That was fine. So then on the last one, I said, "Is somebody going to sit there and like absolutely make sure this gets delivered?" And she said, "Yes." And they booked it through a different service and it did come. So, got there in the end. I just had to cry a lot.
Yeah, but also a day without food. That's fun. And medicine. Food and medicine and during COVID.
Yeah.
So, nah. You got to you stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. Say shit.
No, you can do it for me.
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, I was so angry about this the bloke who just wouldn't leave the fucking package. You know the amount of times that people buzz our apartment. They're like, "You have to come down here and sign this." So, all right. And it's like, you'll be like work from home in a meeting. It's like, "I'll be back in a sec." Go downstairs. They're not even there anymore and they're thrown on the floor. It's like, cool, bro. Cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to bitch about companies all the time, but it's what we got: Telstra, courier companies. Might as well throw Australian Post in there. Taxis.
A politician says ScoMo's a brand, so we can throw him in there.
This is the Karen podcast.
Yeah,
it's true.
Karens
love bacon.
Literally, because it's all about the first half is about eating and like.
I'm so hungry right now. I'm having soda vinegar chips for breakfast and a Maxibon.
I'm looking at the Milk Run app, which is like a delivery in 10 minutes food app, and I'm thinking,
Not sponsored, by the way. We'd definitely be sponsored by them.
I have a code. You could put in grocery credit for $30 off your first order. Minimum spend $50.
Hang on, you got a reference code? You got a reference code?
It's not for me, but in general, like anyone can use it. So Milk Run is an app where they deliver in 10 minutes. It's very good. And you can get $30 off your first order, $50 minimum, so you pay 20-ish, using the voucher code grocery credit. So Central Sydney and Central Melbourne.
I was going to say it's only available in some suburbs. It's very new, but
very cool. They gave us a bunch of free snacks and stuff and free toilet paper in our first order.
Dick.
So, pog.
But yeah, other than that, the only other thing that's been really going on is that I'm in the process of raising money for charity for the guys over at Game On Cancer, who they sort of reached out to me, and I went, I've kind of heard of you guys, but I haven't really done much. And I was just like, can you guys just like actually tell me what you guys do and stuff like that? And they were fucking amazing, actually. They got their shit together, very approachable, and go through all that sort of stuff. A friend of mine who's beaten cancer went and did their due diligence and checked them up, and he said straight up that they're doing some God's work over there, so that's pretty fantastic. But yeah, my friends and myself from Team OC have raised over $800 already. Only a very short campaign, but we were happy to make $100. $800 is pretty happy. We've got a few more days to go, so we'll probably crack 1,000, which would be nice. But the reason I'm bringing it up is one of the goals that I put up there is that we have to do a live podcast. So that means we're going to stream our actual recording process, and everyone can hear all our shit talking. Not really shit talking; it's mainly about food. Let's be honest. So that probably next week.
Our podcasts become about food whenever we record them in the middle of the day when we haven't really eaten yet. I
mean, yes.
Yeah, we should eat more.
I mean, normally we try to do it like a Friday night. It's just been fucking busy lately. But yeah, we're gonna have to do a live podcast, which will probably next week whenever we end up doing it. So, but if you check out the Twitter, I'm sure you'll see when it is. I'm
gonna eat Macca's live on that podcast.
Well, I reckon we'll get the cameras on and stuff like that.
Shelby can snack packs.
Shelby can VTuber if she wants to. And
sure.
we'll get snack packs. A lot of people love listening to people eat. That's what I heard.
It'll be like a mukbang, whatever.
It's been mid convo.
So good.
You're so fucking good chili, brother.
Oh, what'd you get on yours? I got some lamb.
Oh no! What the fuck, nah? Beef, bro. No believes in that.
We could get kebabs and compare.
Compare the kebabs.
Compare the kebabs. Fuck, man, that's a good idea.
Now I want to get a snack pack. Can we, man? What the fuck?
What? Can we what?
I was gonna say we should finish up so you get snack packs.
We should finish up because we are at time anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, we'll do something for next week. For our live podcast. I don't know, snack packs. I kind of feel like KFC now. I don't know.
Oh wow! No, don't do this. I have to get I need to be in 2.5 hours at my tater's house. Mother's Day dinner. You know.
Oh, you got to leave some room for that.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna go eat noodles until then. Do you know the rice and they wrap it in the vine leaves?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're having for dinner at my grandma's with the kabir.
Oh, actually, that sounds good.
It's beautiful. I'll pack some for tomorrow for work as well.
All right, so we should wrap this up, I think. We're getting...
Just do it.
You're just making me hungrier.
I'm going to go eat noodles now.
Before we wrap things up, though, and I know, Vince, you've got some more music.
Out in the Mo, don't worry, dropped an album yesterday. What'd you think of it?
Fucking, I honestly, I fucking, it's right in my vibe for me. Like
Is it really?
Yeah. It's just...
Thank you, bro.
It's the sort of shit you can just kind of chuck on and like fucking just listen and like do
Thank
shit.
You, sir.
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
So I also wanted to point out, I've been hounding my mate to get him onto the podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I said to him, mate, just come on, we're just going to tell some stories and stuff like that. Yeah, you've been challenged to a rap battle. It's not a big deal. He goes, I looked him up. And I said, what do you mean you looked him up? I went to his Spotify. I looked up and he said, guys, he's too good. What do you mean? He's actually good. And he goes, he's Bankstown, right?
There's no way he said that, bro.
I fucking send you the screenshots, man.
Holy shit. I think I'm trash, but like, no, honestly, you know what? I actually think I'm pretty good, but I don't like my voice. That's all it is.
Nah, you I don't think you need to worry. Like it's a vibe and it works. And if anyone else has listened to it, I'm sure they'll listen to it. What they don't like, this is what I said to him. I said because he goes, "Oh man, it's nuts." Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Yeah, what if I told you he just fucking does it? Like he does it, and half the time it's a fucking meme in a video game."
But 3/4 of all the tracks are freestyles. They're just made up on the spot. I swear to God.
Yeah, he's blown away. He's blown away. And even Frog was saying like production levels and shit like that are fucking mint. So it's like the tagline is it's no bullshit, right? It's not a meme. It's legit. It's fucking no bullshit. Worth listening.
That might be the next album name, No Bullshit, because I'm working on the third one now.
And it's good, man. It's honestly good. So if you haven't already, Moe, don't worry. Fucking pretty much everywhere now.
They Don't Know Me is the newest album. I dropped on Friday. We've already got over 300 streams on it, actually, which is fucking crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking very good. I think I'll tell you what it is now. One sec. I looked at it this morning. It was like 301. It is now 320 streams on the album.
Fuck yes. Yeah. If you haven't already, make sure you check that out because fucking the kids say it's legitness.
They don't say that, bro. They say it's cracker.
It's cracker. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but Americans get offended by that, so you got to say it's hectic.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say maybe the kids in your neighborhood say.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Anyway,
what do you fucking mean, bro?
Where can everyone find your music?
Spotify, Moe Don't Worry, Apple Music, Moe Don't Worry, Deezer, YouTube Music, everything. But don't get it confused with Moe DW. That guy's a sad cunt. I'm Moe Don't Worry. Because there's another guy on there, bro. He's an op. But that's all right. He's a good bloke. But I'm the GTA character photo, not the guy with the fake wig and the long hair. Like, yeah, it's true. Don't get him confused.
Glad to clear that up. And Shelby, where can people find your stuff?
You can find me at shellbunny.com. That's where all my stuff is.
And ZLB Podcast on Twitter is the best place to go. We also have a Facebook page now. If you live in the metaverse, you can also like us over there. Just sort of giving it more ways for people to give us some feedback and stuff like that, so we can talk about stuff that you guys want to hear on the show. And obviously, Zombies LV Bacon everywhere for myself. Still raising money until Wednesday, so if you've got $5 you can sling my way. Drop by one of my streams. I'll be streaming Monday and Tuesday night, providing I don't die from COVID. I shouldn't die. I should survive this time.
He told me if he dies he's going to give me his PC and all his games.
You don't want my PC, bro.
You don't want his PC, it's trash.
Okay, he told me he's going to give me all his games.
No,
not my games.
I'm going to sell his antique shit for big bucks.
Bruh,
antique.
Yeah, no, the Nintendo 64 collection's probably worth about 10 grand.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know exactly where you live. I'll bet yours in 45 minutes.
Yeah. No worries. Well, while he's on his way over, thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll be back next week, COVID permitted. We shouldn't be missing any more episodes, hopefully. And hopefully a live show if we get our shit together. So, see you then. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Mwah. Say guys.
Mwah.
Kissing him.
We're just kissing them.
What do you mean?
Kissing the listeners.
Kiss them goodbye.
Kiss them right on the mouth.
Oh, right. Fucking there. Tongue and all of
Yeah.
everything.